topic of inclusion and diversity and equity, I think leaders today are faced with many challenges in that area. Can you talk about your approach?
If there's one key lesson from the events of last year in the United States, is that as much as we think we've done, we still have not done anything close to enough. It has to be sincere. And I think a leader is now challenged to demonstrate, to prove to yourself and to those around you, those who look up to you, whether you really believe in diversity and inclusiveness. And what does diversity and inclusiveness mean? There's an opportunity here to be open, to challenge our preconceived notions about diversity. Oftentimes, we apply a very cosmetic approach to that. Oh, well, if I fill this gap, if I fill this quota, if I fill with this particular group or these 2, 3, 4 groups of people, then I've done my part. That's superficial. I think it's about a very clearly stated intention from the top that this is our commitment, and our commitment is going to be assessed in terms of performance measures. How are we, what are we doing to promote an inclusive, diverse corporate culture, for example? Why are we doing this? Do we really believe that a diverse group brings a better outcome? And if we don't believe it, then we need to be honest and maybe step aside for another leader who does believe it. Because ultimately, if you don't, you're not going to be dedicated to encouraging diversity. And I believe that over time, it will become an explosive situation.
Well, you've laid out, I think, some very good principles. Do you have any specific recommendations to leaders today, things that they should be doing, like almost on a daily basis, to make sure that these goals of diversity and inclusiveness are achieved within the organization?
I think it needs to be a part of our underlying conversations. It needs to be a guiding philosophy in everything that we do. Even in looking at something such as the definition of ADA design, just because something has been deemed best practice or industry standard, is that really the best practice? Is there some aspect of best practices, for example, that have served to institutionalize exclusion and lack of diversity? In developing major public infrastructure projects, oftentimes best practices are based on or rooted in the philosophies of the past, when it was okay to not provide a service or a benefit to a particular community because it just didn't, the numbers didn't make it. And so this is an opportunity for us to revisit, but is that really applicable here? Or should it be about statistical analyses? Should it be about mathematical formula? And I think the answer is no.